Well, joining me now to discuss the conflict in occupied Karabakh is Laurence Broers in London. He's an associate fellow at Chatham House's Russia and Eurasia program. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Broers. Do you think the ceasefire is going to hold?
Good afternoon. Well, I think the ceasefire perhaps reflects that there is a military stalemate on the ground at the moment. There's no real offensive battle plan on the Armenian side. And I think perhaps if the aim was to create a new political situation for the reformulation of the peace process, I think Baku can perhaps consider that objective has been met. So I don't see a military logic to continued escalation, but there's no reason to be complacent or optimistic. I think there's no deterrent for another such episode to happen in the near future.
Has this frozen conflict been ignored by the international community?
I wouldn't say that it's necessarily been ignored as such. There have been intensive efforts through the Minsk group. The US, Russia and France have been actively engaged. 5 different peace proposals have been put forward. But I think what has really been neglected is the ceasefire. You have a really very limited mandate of the OSCE, just 6 unarmed observers who have to announce in advance their inspections of the front line. And I think there is an increasing discrepancy between that very small mandate and the scale of hostilities that we've been seeing, not just over the last 3 days, but over the last 2 to 3 years.
Is there any one party who holds the key to peace?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Is there any one party who might hold the key to peace?
I would really emphasize that it is the parties themselves that hold the key to peace. But if there's one external actor that really has the potential to be decisive, it's of course Russia. Russia is Armenia's closest strategic ally, but it's also been following a policy of symmetrical armament. It's the chief arms seller to Azerbaijan. It's what's enabled Azerbaijan to rearm itself. And there's also been a lot of rumors about whether Russia wants to put boots on the ground in the form of peacekeepers. And I think this crisis has rather caught Russia off balance. And I think it's a test now, not only of Russia's capacity to influence the situation, but of international cooperation through the auspices of the Minsk group to really allow diplomacy to take back the initiative.
Yeah, interesting that you mentioned the Russian influence over Armenia. There is a claim, there's a lot of explainers flying about right now because people are trying to answer the question, what's going on there? There's a lot of explainers out there that claim that Armenia and Azerbaijan are just proxies of Russia and Turkey, respectively. Is that an exaggeration?
I don't think it's just an exaggeration. I think that is very lazy analysis. It's very easy to analyze everything that happens in the South Caucasus through the prism of grand geopolitics and to suggest that local powers are just proxies of the surrounding regional nations, but I really don't think that's the case. This escalation timed right now, I don't think suits the political calendar of Turkey or of Russia, and I think the emphasis really needs to be on the internal logic as to why this is happening. As I mentioned, this is not a new phenomenon. This has been going on for 2 to 3 years. We had pretty bad clashes in August 2014 and in September of last year. And I think it's really the internal logic. The parties have their own reasons, and those are the reasons that we have to understand.
Laurence, thanks so much for helping us demystify some of that. Laurence Broers joining us there from London.